Hi everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the general characteristics of the Harappan cities and some of the important cities which are portrayed as the ideal role model cities in the history of the world. My dear friends, it is an enigmatic puzzle if you get a huge civilization without any written content or without any deciphered written content. It becomes very difficult. But then what we know from our present perception, we can assume accordingly about our ancient civilization. And we all know that we are living in the age of fourth industrial revolution. So definitely we have our own yardstick to measure the civilizations. Let's look at the characteristics of Harappan civilization, which was spread in more than 16 lakhs square kilometer of area. And if you look at the characteristics, you will be astonished. In the age of bullock cart, in the age of horse, how such a symmetrical civilization can grow up. It is really astonishing to know. My dear friends, generally if you look at the city, this has been shown in the map also, you can see the city. City was divided into two parts. The citadel, which was located on the western side of the civilization, of the city, and the lower town, which was located on the eastern part of the city. If you look at the area of citadel, that is quite smaller as compared to the lower town. You can see in the map itself, this is the citadel and this is the lower town. Citadel was located on the higher mounts or higher platform. Perhaps most of the cities were located on the banks of the huge rivers. So they thought to make the higher platforms to protect themselves from the floods, and that is why especially the elites would have been staying there. And if you look at the whole city, generally most of the city except Kot Diji and Amri were totally fortified by the mud brick walls. And if you look into the citadel was further fortified. So that itself shows its importance, right? If you look at the lower town, area wise it is a bigger area and it is located on the lower kind of platform, that is indicative of the common people kind of settlement. And but in so many features, if you observe the Harappans, they had distinguished characteristics. Most of the cities were pre-planned, and cities were planned on a rectangular grid pattern. If you can see, I can show you the cities. You see, this is the general layout, and most of the cities were located on the grid pattern. So if you see that every street, they had all three kinds of streets what we have today, the lanes, the biggest street, the main street, the highway kind of thing. What we have today, that kind of in Kalibangan we have a very huge, very big streets. So, but then it is astonishing that why they didn't use the pakka roads or big brick into the streets, because they were already knowing how to make the big bricks, right? If you look at their streets, the lanes were generally 3 feet in the width, and 8 feet was the width of the subsidiary roads, and almost 11 feet was the width of the highway. So probably if you take the present scenario, it is very small kind of road. It cannot, but then we don't find any evidence of pakka road in entire a period of the civilization. If you look at their building structures, they had pretty well kind of monuments in most of the cities, and the bigger buildings, basically those buildings where the water, flash waters or flash floods used to come frequently, they generally used in those buildings the big bricks. And these big bricks were not the sun dried big bricks, these were mostly the fire big bricks. But then the question appears, how they knew the making of the bricks, whether they had the closed kind of casted molds or something. No, but what we find that open cast mode was there of making the big bricks, but so far we don't have any closed kind of cast molds which could indicate the further stage of the brick making. But yes, they had several types of big bricks, mud bricks, big bricks, and what we have today, the ratio was 1:2 2:4, what we have today, almost similar. And they knew all kind of bricks, be it the waste bricks, they also knew the corbelled structures, which are very intricate structures, right? So if you look at their buildings, you will be astonished to know that every house, every kind of house had their own wells, their own toiletry, which is unique feature anywhere in the world. We don't find such kind of sanitation. Perhaps these Indus people were the first to bring the most sanitized practice in the world, the toiletry. They might be the inventor of the toiletry system in the world. What we find that every house has a proper drainage system, and it was connected to the manhole. The drainage from the house were properly connected to the manholes, which used, and the big manholes were on the outskirts of the city, where they had made some soak pits kind of structure. And almost every city has yielded the wells, the toilets in huge number, the double storage building. We have big halls, granaries kind of a structure, dockyard kind of a structure. And I'm telling you on common sense kind of thing, that if one question comes that where the big brick were used, most of the big use will be there in the elite structure, that is obviously in the citadel area. Secondly, you can use your wild guess that wherever water is flowing, like drainage and all, then you can't use that mud brick kind of thing. So many a times in UPSC they ask where the mud bricks were used and where the big brick were used, and that is question. Generally they will ask you, about the general characteristics of feature, whether the fortification was there or not. Sometimes they would ask you like generally they will ask you from origin, characteristics, survival and continuity. In means these kind of questions keep on coming, and in preliminary they will generally ask you the distinguished features. Past 30-40 years I am observing these kind of questions, right? So if you look at past 30-40 years paper, you will find such kind of things. But then don't think that any question is going to repeat in the coming time. So you must try to put the habit of knowing the unique characteristics and the latest feature which have come into the light in the recent past. So your knowledge should not be limited to the academic textbook that is going to work only in the academic classes. Anyway, so if you look at their structure, in every house there was the system of stair. So if stairs are there, definitely they knew that they had the double story building, even you don't find then also, right? We can't get the existence of locks, because locks cannot survive for 4,500 years. So wooden structure might have been, but we can't have any traces out there. Secondly, roofs were generally the flat roofs. If you see the building structure, you'll find that they used to have the flat roofs. They didn't had the earlier system of Wadle and Daub system. That was not there in Harappan buildings. The next thing what we find in most of the buildings, that they had the a square shaped, or you can say rectangular shaped kind of arcs. We don't find any round shape arc in the city, which is also a bizarre kind of thing, because they knew making the round seals and so many round things, right? Even then they were not knowing how to make the round arc. They were knowing how to make the round wells, right? So these are the features, the general features. If you see their sanitation, their houses, their drainage pattern, they knew the system of hydraulics, right? And that is why they succeeded in making the proper swimming pool and all. And if you see the dockyard, generally many of the scientists, modern scientists, didn't believe that it would be the dockyard. But recently, Indian Oceanography Institute, Goa, concluded when they found the traces of oceanic items, salty items which can only happen to be in the oceans. Then they concluded that yes, it was the dockyard, right? So if it was the dockyard, it was the first dockyard anywhere in the world. So in that way they excelled in hydraulic engineering. If you see that one of the city, famous for the rainwater harvesting. So these entire things indicate that these Harappans were well in advance against all their contemporary civilizations. So what I concluded right at this moment was the general characteristics of the city. Now I'll tell you some of the features of the major cities of the Harappan civilization. Friends, Harappa is the first excavated site, and unfortunately the citadel of Harappa is missing, as I told you before, only because it was destroyed by the locals. But then from the lower town also we have plenty good remains. For example, there are 18 circular platforms you can call it mortar, or a place where the grains were threshed. You can see in the picture the grains were threshed, and you'll find another unique building from Harappa. Some people claim it as the workmen's quarter. Basically, it looks like the barrack structures. So almost 12 buildings are there known as the barrack structure. Another feature which comes from Harappa is, the most striking feature is so-called granary. Many people contest because there is no grain found from the granary. So how come it be the granary? But then it resembles very much with the portrayal of Roman depiction of the granary, and it is the largest structure, largest granary also in the entire civilization. But as far as Harappa is concerned, it is the largest structure, and size is, you can say, 45 meter by 45 meter on a raised platform, and it is divided into two blocks, each block having six kind of rooms, huge rooms, 15.2 by 6.1 meter each room size. You just imagine, right? 6 room this side, 6 room that side, and in the middle there is a common area, and the distance between the two is 7 meter. Just imagine, and you'll find some pavement also in the common area, and some triangular structure, amidst the wall you will find kind of hole is there, triangular structure hole, perhaps for proper ventilation. Generally it is believed as the granary, that is the largest granary of the civilization, which comes from Harappa. So these are some of the features, and from Harappa you will find plenty good numbers of mother goddesses, and one copper crucible have been found which was used probably for cooking purpose. Generally copper yields are very less. In hoards you won't find copper, because in general practice they used bronze. So copper is very less used item from the Harappan cities. But then these are some of the remains which we find, distinguished remain from Harappa itself. Harappa is on the bank of Ravi, as you know. This is the first city which was excavated. The second city which is very popular, as you know, that is known as Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro was excavated by Rakhaldas Banerjee in 1922, and this is located in the city called Sindh, province, that is Larkana district, right? And Indus River passes through the entire city, you can say. It is on the bank of Indus River. Mohenjo-daro is really a wonderful city. Where it used, prior to some other cities, it used to be one of the most distinguished city in the early years. But then from Mohenjo-daro, there are 4 big buildings. You can call it the great, in every building there are big buildings. You can get a great granary, the great bath complex, the great collegiate hall, the great assembly hall. So these all buildings are great building. Another, you can say the prized collection is that dancing girl, the bronze dancing girl. There is one of the prized collection from Mohenjo-daro. That looks like proto-Australide, and this is a very unique kind of feature which comes from Mohenjo-daro. Another, you will find another, another statue of bearded man, from Mohenjo-daro, right? And one of the unique thing which comes from Mohenjo-daro is a seal, and that is a boat sail seal, and that is portraying one bird which depicts, which helps us knowing the direction. In ancient days, you might be knowing that crows were quite useful in knowing the directions. So that crow perhaps may be there. One bird is there to show the direction, and that is a ship kind of portrayal. So very unique thing, because ship reveals a lot of thing about the international trade and uh, the place value, right? The most distinguished feature which comes from Mohenjo-daro is that we call it swimming pool or the Great Bath Complex. It's a huge complex, and it looks like rectangular kind of a structure. The size, you can say, length is around 39 feet and width is almost 23 feet and depth is 8 feet. Just imagine. And the wall surrounding this structure is 8 feet width wall, you just imagine. And there is a proper Corville drainage system. So there is a well to drain out the water, and that is 6 feet deeper. And both the side, north and south, you will find that, you can see in the picture itself, both the side you will find from north and south there are stairs to go inside. And they knew the proper cementing process. They used, the lime, the bitumen, right, gypsum to cement and to make a watertight kind of structure. Itself is a unique thing. You won't find anywhere in the world this kind of swimming pool at that earlier stage. It's a really unique kind of thing that shows in hydraulics and engineering. They were way ahead of many contemporary civilizations, right? In the next lecture, we will be looking at some other cities, right? Thank you very much.